Hello, Leo. This is Cosmic Brew Tarot. I'm Oscar. This is going to be a reading for December 2023, general reading. We're going to see what the messages from the universe are. And this is my cat, Max, who's just being such a sweetie pie. The last time I did a general reading, it was my very first set of readings for this channel. It's a pretty brand new channel, all things considered. Stop showing your butthole to the camera. And I had said that it was going to be for the first half of November. But then, I was doing a new moon reading for Scorpio. And then I got like swept up in doing other types of readings just to feel things out. I'm experimenting with the channel. I'm learning, what... I'm integrating it into my life and my schedule, but then also simultaneously I'm learning what what's vibing so far with the audience that I have cultivated so far. If you're back, thank you so much. I'm glad. You're part of the building blocks for this channel. So, I'm very happy to have you here. And so I'm just going to do a December reading. I had done, my previous set of readings was for home and family, like holidays, home for the holidays kind of reading. But I know that that's not necessarily something that I wanted to just only be for the December 2023 time frame, because sometimes we are going through things that are not home and family related. So I just wanted to go ahead and do the general tarot readings. I feel like that's just... it's good vibes. So just like last time, I'm going to be using a combination of the Spellcaster's Oracle with my Mermaid Tarot deck. And at the very end, we will draw from the Cosmic Journey Oracle deck for a final piece of advice. So, also, something to note is I had started your reading and then I had a technical difficulty which messed up the video. And so that reading, I figured I would just tell you kind of like a very quick overview, was about having a puzzle piece in your life that has clicked into place and is starting to make you, it has started to make you feel more in balance, more at ease, but also reframing where your passions should lead you. It felt like going from a place of past turmoil and fighting and really having to go to bat for yourself and defend and attack and all that, just being in a very combative and it was a space that wasn't really making you feel very good. Like people were seeing you in negative lights as a result of this. And then starting to kind of flow into a space of actually, there are people that like me. And the reason they like me is for reasons that are not this. The people that don't like me are because I am always in this kind of space, this environment that is where I do have to be more of a hard ass. And I think that you're kind of moving away from that and starting to figure out, maybe something that's a little more placid and a little more fulfilling emotionally. But this is going to be a brand new reading, so let's see where we go from here. Now, this is a general collective reading, which means that not everything is going to resonate. So this is a perfect time for you to train your intuition and your discernment and use it to decide what is yours, what you need to interpret differently, or how something resonates in a way that I'm not necessarily saying. And then also what has nothing to do with you whatsoever. So that way you can leave behind stuff that you have to force too hard, because that's not an interlocking puzzle piece, is it? Don't take on energies that you don't need to take on, because you're already dealing with plenty. Okay. So, let's begin. I'm pausing because I feel like I should draw this card as a general overall energy for this reading. So I was like, did I really feel that, or am I just telling myself that? But you know what? If I'm second guessing myself, it means let's just do it and see what happens, right? All right. So we've got Two of Pentacles as a general energy here. So in the previous reading, it was a Four of Wands, which is about home and family and stability and security, and celebration, and just feeling like at ease and at peace with your home life. And Two of Pentacles is talking about managing responsibilities, balance, keeping things in a flow state, but that flow state requires effort to keep, right? It's not just doing it on its own. You have to really kind of manage things. So it's not a terrible energy. It's fine. Especially because it's upright. If it was in reverse, I'd be like, ooh, things are really not going, you're not balancing things properly. But you're definitely in a state of what's interesting about this card in particular is you're being watched doing the balancing act, right? And it's a bunny, it's a rabbit, you know, it's like a rabbit that wouldn't typically be doing this. You're actually, this feels like you're creating a sense of, you're like a wonder, a sideshow. You're like, it's just like, wow, you're pulling off whatever it is that you're trying to do here. So people are noticing you. Let's say that. Okay. So for your themes, we have finding, protection, and justice. So this is actually interesting. This is the first card that came out in the other reading for you, the other oracle card. So I'm curious to see where this takes us. And the same kind of themes are sticking out for me of you are really learning where your energetic flow needs to go. It felt like you were finding a new flow state for yourself that was giving back to you in equal measure, that you didn't have to fight so hard for. You're obviously willing to put in the effort that's required, but you know, this is really about finding a new space to play in that's easier for you, that helps you protect energies that you need to protect, so that you can, and so you can just come home and bask in the fact that, you know, you've done your part in order to come home and be at peace, right? And then justice. Again, this is speaking to me to a sense of balance and fairness. And with this Two of Pentacles energy, you're talking about balancing different priorities and responsibilities and things in your life. And it's a very interesting energy, and I think, oh, interesting. There's butterflies. There's a butterfly here on this card, and then there's a butterfly over here on the side on this card. That there's like a little transformative energy that's kind of like coming around being like, yeah, you can do it. You're so amazing, Leo. You've got this. But yeah, this energy also feels very, it feels very cozy, and it feels very nurturing and fair. For finding, I'm going to draw 3 cards here. So we've got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, the Ten of Swords in reverse. So we're leaving behind. All right, hold on a second. And the 8 of Swords. Okay. You have already been, or you have already dealt with situations that have not yielded a return on investment. And in the slow going process of that, of things moving so slowly or being at a standstill, having to just kind of take the loss. You've had to recover a lot from these experiences. You're coming out of it, but it's indicated here by that 10 of Swords in reverse, right? So in upright, that's a very sudden, very painful ending. In reverse, the swords are falling out of this person's body. So it's a rejuvenation, right? It's still painful, it's still hard, and when we're looking here next, on the other side of this, we have the 8 of Swords of feeling trapped and stuck. With the Finding card, it feels to me like while it might be hard, a lot of your mental energy is looking for the escape route, is looking for the new path, is looking to unstuck you, to move you forward in a way that you need, that feels more balanced, that feels more protective of your energy. But you haven't quite seen it yet. You haven't quite found it. I think you've dealt with a lot of disappointing situations that have led you to feel like is this really all there is? Is this really all there is? Just bad opportunities, bad investments, things just ending disappointingly, and why bother? And I mean, it's that I'm getting a lot of that energy. It's why bother energy, but you're like fighting it. You're actively fighting it. There's a higher self here we're gonna recover from this one way or another. We're gonna get you out of this. I'm getting myself out of this somehow. I don't know how. But I will. I'm finding that I'm finding the means to do so. The 8 of Swords, again, this energy of being stuck and not knowing how to get out, right? I mean, she's bound to this pillar and she's blindfolded and she has no idea how to get out of this situation. But really, the situation is it's not difficult. It's not actually impossible to escape. As long as she gets out of these bindings and can remove this blindfold, she can see that she can just walk right out. But it's about getting unstuck first, right? It's about being able to assess the situation in a way that's more clear, than what your brain is telling you it is. And when you're constantly in this energy of why bother, it can be very easy to just kind of accept this situation as permanent. But it's not, and it shouldn't be. You should be fighting. You should be fighting out of this. You're not just going to roll over and die, right? You're not the type to roll over and die. You're coming back with a vengeance. I don't know about coming back with a vengeance, but you're planning on making a comeback for sure. But again, you're just assessing, where are my energies best placed at this time? Because it doesn't really feel like you want to do too much. It feels like you're already doing so much balancing of things already that it's challenging to figure out where you're going to go from here. For protection, I'm going to draw 3 more cards there. We've got King of Wands in reverse. The Hierophant is going to be in the center of your reading. And the 8 of Pentacles. Yeah. Listen, I feel like you're harnessing a lot of that disappointment and anger. You're harnessing it, and I think you're seeing that there's a better way to harness it, right? So the Hierophant, we're talking about spiritual leadership in this sense. So there is a higher self, and I already mentioned your higher self in the previous row. There's a higher self telling you, you're not going to roll over and die. We're going to get you out of this. And you're harnessing a lot of this anger and resentment kind of energy, or this stuck energy, to fight your way out of being even harder on yourself than you need to be. I think that there's a piece of you that's trying to protect your strongest light and fire, right? But circumstances in your life have made it where you have to be very protective of your energy. You're keeping again, 2 of Pentacles, right? We're keeping all of this in check and in balance as best as we can. We're recognizing the hurt and the suffering that we've gone through. And we're feeling the burning, the rage that comes from that. And it's being tempered by a higher self that is really working to master a calmer and more efficient, effective, better you than before. And what's interesting is this 8 of Pentacles is under the 8 of Swords. So we have 2 8s in a line here. And the 8s are kind of like they're what do we do now kind of energies. What needs to be accomplished? What do we need to accomplish? With Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles is about mastery, skill development, higher learning. And again, we're next to the Hierophant. So I feel like you're really learning how to be protective of your energy and how to harness even the more difficult energies inside of you, the ones that are telling you to stand up and fight, to lash out, to or even to be lazy. Like, you don't want to be lazy either. You don't want to just roll over and die. You don't want to just accept where you're at, but you're also having to accept your energy levels. You are having to accept the pain and the hurt. You are having to accept the turmoil that you're going through in your mind, the stuckness that you're feeling. You're accepting, understanding it. But there's a higher self that is trying to protect you from letting those thoughts and negative emotions to take over in a way that's going to hinder you. And as a result, because of that, you are protecting yourself, you are mastering yourself, you are learning a better, stronger version of you that can. So because when we're trying to rebirth ourselves, when we're trying to come out of a hard ending, when we're trying to unstuck ourselves, we really want to make sure that we come out stronger from it, that we've learned something. And sometimes the best thing that we can do is just say, you know what, I've learned how strong and resilient I am. I've learned how to deal with things in a healthier way. I've learned how to protect my energy. I've learned how to hold back. I've learned how to step away. I've learned how to live in a more balanced state. So since we're talking about balance, let's move over to the Justice card. Let's get 3 cards for that. Death in reverse. The 10 of Cups. And the World. There's things about you that you just can't change. Let's just acknowledge those as well. There's things about you that you can't change, but it's your expression of those things that you're better putting into an equilibrium. You're acknowledging how something has made you feel and react or whatever in the past, in your current state, but the way that you're coming forward is you're looking at the big emotional fulfillment, a happier time. This 10 of Cups is under your Hierophant, which is under your 10 of Swords in reverse. So now it's 2 10s in a line. It's like your higher self is taking you from pain and suffering to love and light, celebration, harmony. To really help you put the final kibosh on this situation, to close out this cycle and say, you're good, you are done, you have mastered what you need to master. The World underneath your 8 of Pentacles, the card of mastery. And I think sometimes it just does come from acknowledging that there are certain things that will not die yet. There are certain things that are just too hard-coded to change. And being able to accept those things and work with those energies or around those energies or separate from those energies is what starts directing you more towards this 10 of Cups state. rather than continuing to be in this stuckness. Keep doing what you're doing, okay? Again, this Two of Pentacles to me is telling me you are balancing things. It is precarious. It is difficult. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm not saying you're doing, just because you're doing it, just because I'm saying keep doing what you're doing does not mean that what you're doing isn't hard. I get it. But at the very least, I hope that you see that there is the light at the end of the tunnel, and it is a light that you are creating yourself. And it comes through working through a lot of this turmoil that's happening in your mind and aiming your intentions towards a more emotionally fair place to you. This Ten of Cups is the only Cups card in your spread. Cups is about emotions. And this card in particular is the most positive, emotionally fulfilling, harmonious Cups card. It's like your higher self is one that takes your heart into account. You know, you do have a lot of Pentacles energy in this, which to me is saying, you know, hey, resources that you are putting, that you're balancing and that you're utilizing, those are going to be beneficial towards you and your emotional state. And even your mental energy, while it feels turbulent, I feel like, again, we're coming out of that because you're finding the way out. And once you find that way out, once you find this Ten of Cups, that's when we can say, all right, this is closed. This is closed. Once you feel good, it's going to be like, all right, that's it. Justice. We have met the moment. And that's when you're going to feel even more imbalance. In balance, not imbalance. In balance with yourself. And again, people are looking at you going like, wow, you really recovered from that. You're still keeping things in a flow. But you had to really create that flow, I think. And I would advise meditating, taking some time to just process with a higher self, something more positive and enlightening than the thoughts that keep you in this kind of like King of Wands in reverse, anger, impulsive, rash state. And also away from this Knight of Pentacles energy of, you know, stagnant lack, for lack of a better word. All right, let's nightcap. We've got, for finding, transformation and forgiveness. Yeah, I've definitely been talking a lot about changing in terms of like the pieces of yourself that need to grow and evolve. And the fact that forgiveness is attached to that means to me moving away from woe is me kind of mentality, and I can't believe someone would do this to me, and that I think you're trying to avoid victim mentality. And it's hard because your brain is just kind of naturally enforcing that victim mentality. And instead, again, there's just, here's that butterfly. I just realized the butterfly, right? You're finding a bigger, better, brighter version of you that makes you feel good about yourself, that helps you move forward with some forgiveness in your heart, that helps you be like, you know what? I'm good. Everything's fine. I can well and truly put this behind me, and I'm moving forward. I see movement. For protection, we have confidence. So absolutely, right? Look at this. Hierophant, 8 of Pentacles, confidence. You're going to really believe in yourself so much more when you really see like the work that you've done to rise up from the ashes. And with Justice, we've got life purpose. Right? 10 of Cups in the World. And Death in reverse. So it's like, it's interesting, right? This is a mirror image. So it's a balance. It's a balance that I'm seeing here. I feel like what we're really talking about is really moving towards something bigger and greater than just your base self. I feel like you're really looking at things in a much bigger perspective than just yourself, but starting with yourself and really acknowledging your needs, your wants. You are refusing to be a victim. You are making things right for yourself. And I honestly see things going very well for you as long as you keep that up. Okay? Keep pushing yourself to be more in tune with that higher self. Because that's what's going to really help bring this situation to a close. And I feel like you're gonna see the differences. Let's pull a card from the Cosmic Journey Oracle. Card number 1, 3, 2, 1, jump. Very Fool energy. It's fresh start. Again, it's so interesting that we're going from, you have this 10 of Cups world to kind of finish out your reading, going to life purpose. And then we're going to start here with 3, 2, 1, jump. It's like, you're just so eager to close out whatever this cycle is in order to go ahead and start a new cycle where you can move forward with your life purpose with confidence. Let's read this. How many times have you been just at the edge but then turned around? Have you ever been in a situation similar to the one you're faced with now? Perhaps it seems scary only because you think you don't have a net. Do you believe your wings will appear when you leap? Oh, that confidence card. If you only knew then what you know now. You have so many unseen cheerleaders rooting for you. The countdown is on. 3, 2, 1, jump. a journaling prompt for you or a question for meditation. What am I standing on the precipice of? What will it take for me to finally jump? And an action to help you manifest: place at least one immovable date on the calendar that will force you to move forward. Unstuck yourself. There is a calling here to a bigger, better you. Don't hold yourself back. Forgive what you need to forgive. And while there might be parts of you that you're unwilling to change and transform, that's okay. You don't have to transform everything. There's so many great parts of you that you should absolutely keep. But definitely being a victim and being stuck and being angry is not it. That's not it. Look around at the things that are good in your life and start thinking, how do I get more of that in my life? How do I connect with the things that make me happy more? And then in addition to that, how do I right some wrongs? And what leaps of faith do I need to take? Because we can't unstuck ourselves from energy to take leaps of faith while we have some kind of fear or some kind of negative perception of a situation that says we can't make that leap. Face what it is, remove the blindfold. Okay? Forgive what you need to forgive, transform. All right, Leo, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for being a part of this wondrous cosmic brew. And until the next time, take care.